always trying to get...
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State and the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Atlanta Falcons and the Dallas Cowboys. Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from AT&T Stadium. This is taken just shy of the 10. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. First down, they'll start out with Singletary. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. And it's second down. Well, this defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Yeah, he'll fight for a couple as the tackle is made at about the 32.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Wilson. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. On 4th down, Michael Pilardi on to punt. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. It'll be a 45-yard punt, and couple that with a loss on the return. And it will be Falcon football.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he powers through the first wave, but he's going to be swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, that's what you call being manhandled at the point of attack, and I know the offensive line gets a lot of blame for that one, but occasionally the defense just knows what you're going to do. Maybe they scouted it perfectly, maybe someone tipped it off, but on that play, it had no chance.
And down he'll go at the 25. And give him 9 yards on the 2nd down screen play.
Partner, I like the play call coming right after a tackle for a loss because this is an obvious passing situation, but instead they fooled them a little bit with the screen, and they wound up getting back what they lost and then a little bit more.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
I think we call that season's greetings right there. He came up, knocked him for a loss.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
From the 39, Wilson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Falcons grab it. And this is going to be brought back. It's a scoop and score for the Falcon TD. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score, and a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
We'll be singing in the shower postgame. Extra point by Butker is on target, and it's now a 7-0 game. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Right after the touchdown to extend their lead, now maybe opening the door a little bit there by allowing starting field position at the 40. Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. A give up the middle to Singletary, taken down at the 42.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Wilson. And his throw is incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, Wilson. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And he will have a Cowboys 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Brought down on the play by the linebacker, Christian Harris. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They go right back to Singletary. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. That result, really no surprise. That's what we're coming accustomed to with this #1 ranked rush defense.
And you study the game. Does this bring back a few memories? Maybe the 85 Bears trying to move the ball against them, 2000 Ravens. Heck, how about the late 60s, early 70s Purple People Eaters, the Minnesota Vikings? Hard to move the ball against those types of teams.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. DeMarcus Lawrence make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. It seemed like he kept going through those progressions, and I thought he might dump that underneath, but he couldn't get rid of the football in time.
I have to wonder if he was thinking while he was back there, I wish there were a lot less progressions on this play, just someone that I can dump the ball to and get it out of my hands.
So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And you figure this should be a healthy, arrested, a focused unit, and they're working on a good winning streak. They had the week off last week. This is really a team, Charles, that should be in top 4.
I would agree absolutely with that. What coaches worry about, what organizations worry about, though, is overconfidence. They've been playing so well, and now they've had that extra time off. And we've seen teams come back off the open week and come out flat. So what a lot of good coaches do is they kind of game plan for that with their teams. On defense, they may blitz more in the beginning to get them going. On offense, they may go more up-tempo. Anything to get them out of that lethargy. Right at the...
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. So the interception there. And, Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Finds Lazard quickly on the slant. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And Lazard's got it again. And he will be out of bounds here on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. First and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look.
80 weapons. 80 weapons. 66. Bully.
To throw is Wilson. That's caught on the left side by Kirk. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And this is going to be intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. So this defense doubling its pleasure there. Remember, they had the fumble return for a score earlier in the game, and now this time an interception return for another score. Extra point by Butker is on target, and that'll make the score 14-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive, but at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. The Cowboys had 4-9 now on the year. Now, they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So you know they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
Quick slant caught by Kirk. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
General,
now Wilson on first down. incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Wilson. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Alpha.
Now it's Wilson. And that will be incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
On now, the former Vol, Michael Pilardi. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. On the return, here's Agnew. Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10.
Let's go now.
About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They are guarding against the upset.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. They're going to look to throw. Well, the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first. Mixon with a first down carry. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Another fine carry from the NFL's rushing leader, and quarterbacks typically dominating the MVP balloting, but I think you got to give this guy serious consideration, don't you?
I agree totally. I mean, he's leading the league in rushing, and let's face it, partner, the running back renaissance in the NFL, it's real, and it's really helping teams along the way. He's a prime example. Got to give him strong consideration for MVP talk.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. Oh, he's got some breathing room. There he goes left side. Touchdown, Falcons. Joe Mixon, 55 yards. And the Falcons take a 3-touchdown lead. Extra point by Butker is on target, and it's now 21-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Come on, set.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to... And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Cowboys. I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use in that. And one play, 75 yards in zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? It doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn. Big time play, big time result.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fields it right around the goal line. Well, a dangerous return man showing it here. Jamal Agnew. And he'll bring it back all the way. Touchdown, Falcons. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him, kick it to him. The way he runs, as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Wilson. On the right side, open is Gesicki. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Go.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Throwing is Wilson. Oh, it's intercepted. He was trying to get it to Ridley. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense. A little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
97. Ready.
It's Mixon on the counter. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30.
Here we go, set.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Green jack. Ready.
On 3rd down, Mixon. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 70 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
That's about what you would expect since they're so efficient on picking up 3rd downs in the top 5 in the NFL. It's all a mindset, and I guarantee you, it started in the offseason. 3rd down's important to them. They find a way to pick them up at a very good clip.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Joe Mixon with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Falcons are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Extra point by Butker is on target. And the route is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
Things for them, just to put it bluntly, man, it has been tough sledding here in the first half, facing that big deficit. The clock is dwindling now. Maybe if they can get... And intercepted. Wilson's third of the game.
Picked by Tracy Walker.
And the Falcons are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. Well, Charles, you know, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
17 yards and a first down for Atlanta.
Ready.
Back to Mixon on first down. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway.
This is taken just shy of the 10. And he returns this to the 22. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. Now, the first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little...
There he goes left side. The 40. The 20. Touchdown, Falcons.
Joe Mixon,
78 yards.
And the Falcons are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do that. But let's be honest about it. That third one, that's the most spectacular run he's had in the ball game. It's almost as if he's been playing his own game of, can I top this? And each run has been more spectacular than the last.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Right back to Singletary on second down.
Oh, he's got a little dip.
Singletary loses it.
And the Falcons grab it. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
Ultra. Go ultra. On the ball. On the ball. Bang.
And they'll begin by running the option.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down.
So, CD, this defense, they know that they have to be at their very best when they're taking on a team here that's in the midst of a winning streak that's now stretched over multiple months, not weeks, months.
And I think the challenge they put upon themselves is We want to be the guys to end that streak, and what's working in their favor? The winning streak on the other side. Sometimes that carries a burden with it because they feel like they have to play perfectly as well. Let's just go out there and get them, is the idea.
On second down, here's Mixon. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down. They'll drop to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. He's at the 40. Past the 20. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Always fun to watch a big boy pick it up and go. He may need a little oxygen on it. He may need a lot of oxygen on the sideline.
Not only that, how about you and me trying to balance ourselves up here because you can feel the shaking all the way up to the booth. That big guy trying to get it to the house.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Singletary, they'll go off the middle, and he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. If you're going to run against this unit, especially down here, just beware. I mean, they're the top rushing defense in the league. Yeah,
and then they go ahead and they double down with the whole thing because you think, okay, let's throw the ball. Oh, yeah, that's right. They defend the pass pretty well, too. Very difficult task right now.
The coverage unit out there thinking pass on 3rd and 3.
Greystone travel. Greystone travel. Recon 132.
Boy, and now they can't even get a play off. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. They'll try and run for this with Singletary. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Devin Singletary, his 12th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys are able to capitalize on the forced fumble by turning it into 6 points. Well, they were looking to pick up the 1st down on 3rd and short. They got a little more than they bargained for, finding the end zone as well.
And oftentimes in short yardage situations, you get a lot of defenders stacked near the line of scrimmage, partner. So if you can get past that first wave, there's usually room to roam, and he found it.
And they'll try and run it in with Singletary. And he got it on the touchdown run, but he won't get in here. He'll be stopped short, and they'll come up empty on the try for 2. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Well, you don't see that often. He just mishit it, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, I know sitting up here, and I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, and I know we're both thinking the same thing. Isn't it easy enough to keep it between the sidelines? Because unless you're intentionally doing it for some reason, well, that's a costly mishit, and now you put your team in a bad spot.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. On play action, they'll throw. He's got a man, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A gain of 32 that time.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
Watch out now, 50 Fury.
So first and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. After the penalty, it's Mixon. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 202 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game. So from the 17 now, here's a first and 10. Again, it's Mixon. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they can let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of 11 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Come on, set.
Boy, tough spot here as they approach the line of scrimmage. A long way to go to try to pick up this first down.
Ready?
And this is going to be incomplete.
In any event, it happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had it to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
Butker's kick here is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here. And he loses the football a second time. And the Falcons say they have it, they do. And a little careless there, Charles, on that carry.
And it's not just having 2 hands on the ball. It's tucking it away. It's using your body to keep people shielded off. It's so many different things into taking care of it and having ball security. In that case, though, we didn't see it happen.
Jackrabbit, jackrabbit.
Mixing up the middle. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. The run defense, they have been porous at times today, but not that last go-around.
No, they really tightened it up, didn't they? They finally got themselves a win because all game long we've seen them get gashed. This time they played their responsibilities, played their keys, and made a nice stop.
Ready?
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up.
Here we go.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. And they stop him short of the first as he can only get to the 20. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
Ready. Blue check.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. He'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Falcons go for it, but it doesn't work out. And the Cowboys' defense is going to get them the football back. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive.
Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL.
And oh my goodness, he loses it again. And the Falcons grab it. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
And with that kind you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes, but it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely.
Let's play like a team.
Down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. A handoff running left, Mixon. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Falcons.
Joe Mixon.
36 yards.
And the Falcons add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Extra point by Butker is on target.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
in this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
H3-2-18, chopper.
On second down and 4. Wilson, he'll find Lazard here over the middle. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down.
Now, fourth quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board to make this thing look just a little bit better.
Tracy Walker in on the tackle.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
22-jet bomber.
On second down, a run with Etienne. And he'll push forward to the 37, gain of 2.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety? coming up and making the big-time play.
The offense on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be 3rd and 5. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Cowboys here unable to convert on 4th down. And the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position.
Hey, check Mega.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. 1st down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Okay, ready?
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Hey, go steal. Ready, ready.
They'll stay on the ground, Mixon again. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they got it going today.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
But, Charles, in this win, they've really just had one speed, and that's been all out. They're still driving the ball downfield despite the circumstances and the big lead, and they just continue to find ways to get into the end zone with ease.
They're certainly in that zone where almost everything they try is successful and often leads to points. Teams don't get those types of games very often, so when they do, many of them just want to take advantage of it to the last second.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Okay, ready?
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Wilson. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Well, I don't know how well our microphones are picking it up for those of you at home, but Charles, you and I can hear it. A lot of groans right now coming from this crowd.
I don't know if we're picking up what's happening in the stadium or from the people who are supporting this team at home.
He's got a man complete. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
So still throwing here in the fourth quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart before this game is over.
Extra point splits the uprights as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away.
Now Jamal Agnew from his end zone.
And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here 1st and 10.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
They try to eat some clock with Mixon, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Well, the offense has had a big day. He's been great running the football, but I don't think anybody liked that last result.
No, they didn't like the last result at all, but they have to look at it in total, don't they? They've had a big day running the football. You take an occasional loss or an occasional bad play along the way, but all in all, they have to like what they've done.
Come on, set. Check, man. Ready?
Again, it's Mixon. And he powers his way up past the 30. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Ready?
Mixon running wide side. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. They'll wind up losing a full 10 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Ready up?
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Atlanta,
Know my time is now. Know my mama proud of me. And my
consistent. Made up my mind that no matter what, I gotta win. That's why it's always me and never them. One shot for everybody living in the moment. One shot is all you get, so you gotta own it. One shot. You only get one shot. One shot for everybody living in the moment. One shot is all you get, so you gotta own it. One shot. You only get one shot.
Heart of a lion, my time, here I go. I am not moving in silence. If it ain't moving, move it. We making movies, moving, moving, moving. I get a chance to take it. We bout to build it. They leaving it vacant. I just go harder, harder. I am a ball that I gotta get it. I am so with it. I will go get it. That is the difference. I am not waiting. I am not faking. Everything out here, that's for the taking. My mind too right. My grind too tight. This head rhyme too nice. This my world, my life. One shot, who me? Take that, ooh-wee. One shot, movie. That's all you need. One shot, who me? Take that, ooh-wee. One shot, movie. That's all you need.